Alright, I guess I took two losses today. We'll go over yesterday as well, but I took a 2 micro contract here and a 1 micro contract here for a total loss of $500 on my prop firm account of 25K, which means I am halfway through the loss limit. So we're in dangerous territory. I'm a little tilted because of it, but it's all right. Yesterday's trades, I've been looking at the 30-minute candle right before open, and then as it plays out into the 30-minute during open. So what I was looking at yesterday was the CISD. We moved into a fair value gap and made an SMT, and I was looking at this short right here, followed by aiming for this liquidity, which would have brought us into a 1 hour fair value gap as well. And that played out across two 30-minute PO3s, but that's what I was focusing on for that first trade. I didn't take that trade, obviously. I didn't trade Monday, but I thought it would be interesting. And then the main trade that I was looking at was this on the 4 hour PO3, which started right here at 10. We had, right after that, I was like, let's see how our 4 hour plays out. And we opened and then shot up to the upside. And I was like, all right, well, we're manipulating to the upside because we pretty much opened all the way down here. And I was like, all right, well, this is our manipulation. And so we manipulated, hit this 1 hour bearish fair value gap that I was interested in, made an SMT. And then our perfect entry was this right here, which was beautiful. CISD. Yeah, we had that CISD right here, which would have given us this short right here, stops right at the top, and I was targeting 10 a.m. lows, which also was significant external liquidity. So it actually didn't play out until after the market closed and then reopened the 4 Asian session, but I didn't take that trade. That's just what I was watching. Those are the two trades that I saw yesterday and I was talking about all day on Discord. Now, going into today, I guess trying to trade my 4 hour PO3, I should have been bearish. I don't even know. I don't know why I screwed up. But the first thing that I want to do when I look at this day is decide if we are an XAMD or an AMDX according to Day's quarter theory. He talks about how the day is split into 4 parts, which we all know. They're all 6 hour chunks here, 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 and here. And that's what these vertical lines are. And X is either reversal or continuation. And you can tell from the previous day, we were consistently going down and we reversed. So this was XAMD. Which was the same as yesterday. Yesterday we had XAMD, where this is the reversal accumulation. Our manipulation was right here, and then our distribution, which was just a reversal after the manipulation. So, but today was oddly similar, but I still screwed it up somehow. So the two best times to trade are manipulation and distribution, according to Day, and I think that's accurate. I mean, according to today, that was very clear, but I didn't see it somehow. So we need to figure out why I missed that so poorly, because that was mildly embarrassing. Today was just generally embarrassing, but we can see that this first section is obviously X. It is a reversal. This is accumulation. It is completely stagnant. It makes sense, meaning we need to see manipulation here. But my dumbass was like, this can't be manipulation. That doesn't make any sense. It's not as big as this. And so I was just dense, honestly. And I didn't recognize that as manipulation. Today could have been a huge day for me, catching, even if I caught, like, let's say from here down, it's like 600 points. It's a lot. Today it is just, I mean, the market's dropping very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off real quick just so we can focus. But I had high time frame levels both to the upside and downside that I was like, oh, well, we could manipulate into here, or manipulate into here. And I was like, obviously we're going to be bullish. The daily was setting up nicely. If we actually want to turn this back on. If you look right here, we opened right here, and then we manipulated, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. We manipulated down. Now we're obviously, this is an open, low, high, close situation. It wasn't. Um, and but we had sell side liquidity here, fair value gap, whatnot. And so I was looking over here, and I was like, let's get on the 5 minute. Yeah, this right here, and I should have been more smart, because this is, if you guys watch Fearing or pay attention to Halo, if you guys are in a mentorship or whatever, they talk about this specific SMT, which also happened yesterday, where you have an SMT that goes into a fair value gap, and then the other two don't. And that makes for a like very strong validated SMT, which is why we then catapulted to the downside on ES. But I only trade NQ, so I still could have taken the trade on NQ had I recognized that that was a specific type of SMT fill, which is during our manipulation block. So we have that, we make SMTs, we had just taken out buy side liquidity, and one of our three assets just hit a bearish fair value gap while the others didn't, making an SMT off of these highs, which they're lower time frame highs. These are like 15-minute highs. Yeah, those are like 15-minute highs that formed the hourly bearish fair value gap, which we made a bunch of SMTs off of. And had I been anything close to intelligent, I mean, you could have even taken this on the 15-second. Look, we don't get any kind of 15-second change in state of delivery until all the way up here. If you look right here, our valid change in state of delivery is right here. This is our valid change in state of delivery. Had we just entered on that, like you just take a short from right here, and and I mean, you could put your stops all the way up here. If you want to be more precise, then that's up to you. If you want to say like, oh, well, we could say it's technically a fair value gap. This is a fair value gap. It's not validated. It doesn't have a swing high behind it unless you count this coming through here. But that would have worked, and you could have said, oh, well, if I'm going to trade that, this is going to be our daily PO3, so we're going to be expanding to the downside. I would have probably targeted this fair value gap, the order block, but if you wanted to go really big, you would have targeted previous day lows, which were right here, which I'm sure we will hit here in the next couple of minutes. But regardless, let's say you went cheap and you just went for external liquidity, like something like this right here, which would make perfect sense. There's some perfect external liquidity right there, and that would have been a 15-1 or a 1-15 risk to reward on 500 points. So yeah, I definitely messed up today. I definitely could have had a huge day, and I definitely screwed that up. If you guys want to see what I did, I didn't think this was manipulation. I was like, it's too small. We'll see some bigger manipulation to the downside, which I tend to do a lot, honestly. I'll like see something and like a candle that looks like this with like this much wick, and I'm like, oh, that can't be manipulation. That doesn't make any sense. Or we had like a little wick to the bottom down here. I was like, obviously that's manipulation. I just need a better job. I need to do a better job of seeing things as they are. And a convenient thing about this right here was this is 9:45 and that's 9:49. So within 4 minutes of the microstructure quarter, we had the reversal. So it was pretty well lined up with quarter theory, and that would have been a great trade. So it was lined up well with quarter theory. And if you wanted to enter again, right in here would have been great. This was another reversal point. Like right after this, we continued to the downside. So yeah, today was a little rough for me on the prop account. I decided that this couldn't be manipulation, therefore this must be our manipulation, as we had just taken out an order block. We made SMTs on MNQ and MES. We were making sequential SMTs, just more and more and more, and I was like, oh, this is great. I entered on the the change state of delivery, and I saw this big move, and I was like, yes, it's perfect. And then I got stopped out for like $350, and then I entered another trade right here when we got this. Wait, did I really enter off of this? Let me go ahead and quickly explain why this was wrong. I entered off of this right here. Oh, sorry. this right here. But one thing you'll notice is we didn't have a swing low after this, meaning our proper change in state of delivery was all the way up here, meaning I didn't have a change in state of delivery, which means I was just being dense. I don't even know why I entered on that. That makes me look dumb. But anyways, yeah, it was a rough one. Honestly, I don't really know how I feel about this. I'm definitely gonna have to just give it time and come back to it tomorrow. It is funny that everything is bearish, and I decided we're gonna be bullish. Even over here, let's see what we were. We were bullish on one time frame. Yeah, I should have been looking for more bearish trades. God, that was a rough day for me. Honestly, it was pretty rough. I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of the day off. Keep learning as much as I can, taking notes, learning more about quarter theory, things of that variety. But I hope you all had a much better day than I did, is the ideal scenario. But yeah, today was a little rough. I will see you all on the next one. Stay safe. Don't make stupid decisions. Yeah, looks like this liquidity is it's just edging to liquidity or to liquidity sweep. So yeah, we'll go ahead and call that good. It's a wrap for me. Either I will blow this account by the end of the week, or I will have it turned around and we will be back to where we started by the end of the week. And I would say that my goal is to get us back to where we started at 25 grand within the next couple days. Today should have been a really easy day for me, and I totally missed it. May have been emotions. I also drank coffee, so I was all shaky. So yeah, I've got a lot to reflect on for today, but I will see you all in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. How's it going, guys? Stay safe.